Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa. This is our debrief for Southampton 0, Aston Villa 3. If you are new around here, make sure you are subscribing. Hit the like button. Let's go for 1,000 and comment your thoughts. Match reaction went down an absolute treat yesterday, so I'm glad you are all enjoying the content. On today's episode, we will go more in depth on that performance with passing networks, average positions. We'll show key images to note from the game that I've really picked up on. So we'll have some numbers. We'll be crunching those as well. So yeah, get involved. Hopefully you are enjoying it. So get on this massive journey with us. And we're going to be talking about one player in particular as well, and it is Donyell Malen. So stick around for some Donyell Malen hype. I have nicknamed him the Pitbull. Pitbull in and around the box. That's my nickname for him. So, yeah, if you want Malen hype, then Malen vibes. This is the place for you today because it is important what we saw from Malen. So, huge win, magnitude of our season. Absolutely loved it. Still buzzing. So, yeah, let's get stuck into it. And we saw something a little bit different from Villa. And I think it's because we knew we were coming up against a low block that we're going to defend. And Unai went for something you don't normally see. Probably, don't know, it depends what type of person you are, I guess. I like to get mine up at about that 1st of December. We saw the Christmas tree, guys. We saw the Christmas tree formation. A bit early to be talking about Christmas, I know, but Unai, he wanted to bring it out, didn't he? And in football, the Christmas tree formation is very narrow at the base. And then we have the Christmas tree vibe. And that's what we saw against Southampton, guys. I think we've seen this a couple of times. It's not something that we go out and do all of the time. And it was interesting how we adopted it, really. And I think what you generally get from playing a box in our team is that we get two central defenders, two midfielders sitting. And I think what this tries to do is control the middle area of the pitch. And what that enables you to have is a solid core base. And then you can have width out wide. You can then have rotations with certain players. And the general makeup of what we wanted, it was, in essence, you get width from two wing backs. So a wing back here, a wing back here. You can sort of get a little bit of a three at the back if Onana fills in there as well. So that was the makeup of the team. Then you get the wide player in Rodgers who's going inside. We then have inside shape, width from out here, width from out here. And then you've got two players up top as well. So you are really making a front six, knowing that you've got that base in there as well. So I think it was interesting to see that's the setup that he went with. Is that something that he's going to really try and look to have moving forward against mid to low blocks? Maybe. Really liked that Onana Tielemans midfield too as well. I thought it was very strong, tactically aware. It's got power, but it's also got someone who can get on the ball and head up and play those passes as well. So really, and then what that means as well is that we've got the wing back that can go back through here, and then you've got those two midfielders that can fan out as well, and then you can make up a back three or a back four if you need to as well. So if you do get caught on transition, you've got players that can sort of fill into those areas. So really good from Villa. Really liked it from Emery. And then what this showed us was with the passing network in particular, you've really got that core base through there. You've got that heavy base of players that can give you that control. We can feed into midfield, and then we can sort of fan it out to wide players. very intricate, lot of good work, lot of triangles. Also got the ability to go long into those areas as well. So a real mixture of pretty much everything. If we have a look at Southampton's, and this is really important to remember now. So we look at their tactical setup on where they're playing. And then if you remember now, Villa have got that box in there that's very dominant, that's winning a lot of aerials, it's winning a lot of duels, and we're commanding this area of the pitch, which is forcing them to go out wide, which also forces it to break down. And that solid base that we've got was just so integral to stopping Southampton for being able to transition, etc. So I really liked it from Emery, and I think you can kind of see from the average positions, the passing networks, that where we had our solid base is in that area, and it's vitally important. And we can see that it really worked from a Villa point of view. One thing that did really get on, well, didn't get on my nerve, but it did annoy me in this game was this moment, because this moment here where this ball's just into a channel and Archer was able to peel off the back of Mings, and we can't allow those types of things to happen. So we've really got to make sure that in the future that's not happening, because anyone else, that could have been a goal. So it's so avoidable just by being able to either cut it out or being able to just be aware that you've got that runner on your shoulder as well. So that's just something that I picked up on that sort of did stand out to me, especially if we're being picky in that first half. But if we go back to the average positions then, and we'll have a look at some of the heat maps, and we can really have a look at where players were. So we've got Tyrone Mings' heat map, and we've got Konsa, who are doing a lot of work. Yuri Tielemans, who is just literally like running the show. And then Onana, who's sort of making up that little back three vibe. So his role is a little bit different to what Tielemans' was. Then we've got Matson, who's got to get forward. We've got Matty Cash. We've got Jacob Ramsey. Rodgers drifting inside, Asensio and Marcus Rashford as well. So that was a makeup of Villa's heat maps on where our players were as well. And then if you're looking at Southampton's average positions over the course of the whole game, it's quite narrow. So we're making them defend narrow, and it's quite congested. So they are feeding off scraps. So I think tactically it's quite good to see of what we were doing, because you could just look at it and go, it's Villa in control. Villa are just going about their business in a normal way. But Emery, little tactical tweaks, game on game, you have got to search for them, but once you see them, it's hard to unsee them, if that makes sense. Right, so we'll have a look at some of the images from the game then, and things that I picked up on. So the mixing, I feel like we can't allow that to happen. Those balls, those chances, it's just non-negotiables, can't happen. And then start of the second half, what we started to see was players shoot from distance. We have to do it more. You're playing up against a team with a low block. Look at PSG. Take your shot. And Onana takes a shot. And this gets parried into here. Now, the other pleasing thing that when you do take shots from distance is, they might save it. It might go over. But if he parries it into an area, which he did, and we were able to recycle on the touchline with Ramsey, shooting from distance helps, because sometimes teams do get set in their shape. You take a shot, it takes a ricochet. Sometimes you just have to do it. You just have to take those shots from distance. Now, this was a really good moment because Ollie Watkins has come on the pitch. We play this nice little ball into this area. And what you get with Watkins is you're always going to get that runner. So this is a real nice pick out. This is the one that we got the penalty from. But you could already see a little bit of a difference between Rashford and Watkins. Watkins will sometimes just do those real selfless runs, and I think he changed the game, Watkins. He was absolutely class. Here, we've got to talk about this. Guys, get your cup of tea, get your feet up, because you won't see much better than this over the course of a season, because it's absolutely so good, so good. Again, look, we've got our little base here of players who are doing the job. We are, looking solid. The pick out, I mean, it's it's not even like a pick out with loads of space. It's not like they're defending high and he's picked it out and it's a bit of a sort of like, I don't know, like off the cuff sort of thing. Like, he's picked up the ball on the D of the halfway line and played this ball into that area. Like, it has to be perfect. Sometimes you see those balls over the top and they're like, we had a couple, didn't we, where they're like nearly and the keeper comes out. This ball here is absolutely incredible. Like, it's so good, guys. And Watkins able to take it down. Look at where he's took it from. It's perfect. His eyes are always on it. His eyes are looking at the ball, coming over his shoulder. He's stuck his foot out. He's at full stretch. It could bounce off him and go into row Z. It could go wide. But outside of the foot, back across goal. That's, I mean, I know we was in Paris, but that needs to go in like the Louvre, doesn't it, really? Like, hang it up, frame it. It's class. Absolutely class. And he deserves massive credit because, again, look at this, guys. Ollie Watkins registers 20 goals/assists for a third consecutive season running in the Premier League. And he's playing with an injury. Absolutely unbelievable. The goal, the touch, the ball, it's absolutely exquisite. Right. Now, let's talk about Donyell Malen, because he also changed the game. And I think he could be our answer. Once he gets fully up to speed with Emery, because we do know there are a little bit of a sort of, you have to get up to speed, get to gist with what he wants, etc. Right? He could be our low block unlocker, because the way he's in and around, I'd say the final third in space, is so powerful. He's so powerful and he's so direct. He's clever. He leads that line very well. He finds space well. And he's got that killer finish across the keeper with power. Now, we see this, and another player that needs credit as well is Rodgers, because he picks him out and he finds the ball perfectly well. Again, Rodgers more central. He's just a lot better as well. And I think he's got so much in that central area that it's very difficult to not play him there. But Donyell Malen, in that area, in that zone, in this area right here, there's only one winner in this situation. His striking of the ball is clean. He's got great technical ability when he strikes the ball. And I love how he just goes about his business very, very sort of like under the radar, very sort of he pops up when needed, and I just think that aspect of him is very dangerous. Again, for the penalty that we got just before it in this area, very strong and just very direct and very. I'm calling him the pitbull. It's very bullish about him, and I just think sometimes that's what. When I did my match reaction yesterday, and I was talking about we need somebody to sort of take the initiative, and I think Marlon's that player because he only knows one way, and he only knows one way of driving towards that goal. He doesn't really want to take a touch, and this is maybe why this is why he's not starting games because we don't want him being quite say like ball goes out wide, little touch. We don't want him doing that. We don't want him building up. We want him just driving and expressing himself. And maybe when a game gets stretched, he's the perfect player to come on because he just he just attacks. And I think that's what's so good about him. And I think maybe for now, maybe we don't need to see him starting games because what he's offering off the bench is so unique to us. And I think where we are in our season, we're not about sort of like building. We're not about 20 games here. We're not about sort of uh seeing how it goes. We're about right now. And I think Emery's looking at it and he's thinking, you're more valuable to me on the bench. And I think for a player, that's not what they want. They want to be playing, don't they? And I think with Emery and this squad vibe that we've got, it's very different to what you would generally have with players. Like a player scores three and three, you go, he has to start, he has to play. But I think actually Emery's cleverer and he goes, you're 3 and 3, but off the bench, it's what's good for the team. And with say 6 games to go, this could be very, very important for us having those options. So I'm not gonna lie, guys. I'm really liking Marlon. I'm really liking him. I'm liking what he's about, and I think I've got good vibes. I've got good vibes with him, and I've got good vibes with Onana. And I think some of you will know that I've got good vibes with Onana, and there's just something there that I see that the bigger picture getting a lot better. So Donyell Malen, really, really impressed. And then we win this penalty, and it's all down to Malen bursting in the box, etc. So, show you the graphic actually. So, Malen, we burst in the box, we get a foul, and we win the penalty. And Asensio misses it, and McGinn sticks it away. But yeah, really liking Malen. I think he's just a player that I've just sort of got attached to, really. And I'm just really liking him. Like, yesterday when he actually got that ball in that area, I was just like, get in there, Marlon. Absolutely love it. So, yeah, we'll run through some of the numbers then. We'll crunch some of these numbers. So, Tielemans, 93% passing accuracy, 2 out of 4 of them duels. Onana, 90%, 9 of 13. We've got ground duels, 7 of 9. Aerials, 2 of 4. Brilliant. Watkins, duels, 3 of 3, 1. Amazing. Matson, 96% passing accuracy. 3 duels out of 5, 1. McGinn, 100%, 1 of 3. Cash, 4 of 4. Conser, 3 of 3. Tyro Mings, 3 of 3. Rashford, 3 of 6. Ramsey, 5 of 7. We've got Rogers, 5 of 13. Asensio, 3 of 9. So really good numbers in there. We're winning those duels. We're winning those battles. Passing accuracy is really, really good, which is brilliant to see. So, some great numbers in there, and Villa got the job done. And you can look at it and go, yeah, it's Southampton, but you know every game now is so important. And what I'm gonna say as well is you get to a season now, and part of a season where there's always a couple of teams that are either relegated, nothing to play for, but are so dangerous. And this is where you can look at fixtures and go, oh, you've got this team. So, for example, one team that I think is very, very dangerous now, and you do not want to be playing them, is Everton. Everton, because they're so solid that it's difficult to score against them. And Moyes has just got, so whoever's got Everton coming up, you do not want to be playing them whatsoever. I'm probably going to say another team that aren't really going for Europe that you don't really want to be playing against. Brentford. Those teams, like last year when Palace ended the season really, really well, and you just didn't want to play them. So these type of teams are so dangerous to play against because nothing to lose. The weather's getting a bit better. The vibe when you go into a game is probably a little bit better. Shocks are happening. So, from a Villa point of view, 4 wins in a row. Watkins doing very, very well. Very, very good to see. We've got a couple of quotes here. I'll give you these quotes actually, because I thought they were good from memory after the game. So he said, on top 5 or 4, of course, asked if he's confident. So remember last year when he said, what game week was it? Was it 32? I think he said 32, didn't he? And he was like, he used to say, like, ask me at 32 whether Champions League was on. And we're around that time now. So he said, of course, asked if he's confident. So he's confident we can get sort of top 4, top 5, which is great. The effort we are doing is very important in how we are progressing, but we can't stop now. We must win. We must focus on football more than normal. Enjoy the process and the momentum. We are so focused on the Premier League. The message is clear. We have to be consistent in the Premier League. The first competition in our target, had in our mind, is Premier League. So we have to play every game playing to win. And I think, FA Cup, we all want to win it, right? We all want to win it. But Champions League, it's so important because look at the revenue that we've made this year. We got 9 million for finishing in the top 8. I think we must be on about, are we on about 80 million now just for Champions League this season? So for PSR to get Champions League again, it's huge for we cannot overlook it. We cannot say we don't want, Champions League, the Premier League isn't the priority, because for us as fans, and look, I'm not saying the FA. I'm not even talking about the FA. I'm talking about the Premier League. The Premier League, Champions League is so crucial for Aston Villa because we're already hearing about a player needs to leave in the summer because of PSR to get some funds, etc. And if you're whacking in 80, 90 million every season for Champions League football, you can't take that away. We can't take that away and be like, we don't need it, because we do. So the financials behind Champions League football is massive. And if we get Champions League football again, just think what that next couple of windows can be like. So it is absolutely huge. And I want to get it so bad. And I think the beauty of us is we're not trying to achieve something that we've not already done before. Whereas Nottingham Forest, however well they've done this season, are now starting to get squeaky bum time because there are teams that are right behind them, chasing them. and their dream of Champions League football, they've not had it before. And what I've always thought is that the way that they play with no possession is going to make them become unstuck at some point. Because if you're not having it, so what I'm trying to say is, if Villa go into a lot of games knowing that we're going to have a lot of possession, you already know that you're going to have the ball, so you're going to have the opportunities there. So you've got to defend, etc., all that business. But if you go into games knowing that you're not going to have the ball, and you've got to win games, I don't think that's a great position to be in. So I really don't think it's a great position to be in. So let's hunt it. Let's hunt them down. Let's keep going. Let's believe. Let's give everything. And let's fight for it, because we can do it. We can get Champions League football again. I believe we can do it. So, Villa fans, hopefully you've enjoyed my tactical debrief. I've enjoyed doing it. If you have, on the way out, make sure you're dropping it a like. If you've enjoyed it, drop that like button and comment your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel if you do. Up the Villa.